Hey there, it's Ben at UpstartHR.com, and one of the things that I want to talk about today was a little bit about development and education and things like that. I think there are a lot of ways, especially today, that we can educate ourselves, be better at what we do. For those people that are just getting into the profession, though, they don't yet know what they don't know. They don't realize some of the areas they can learn things. They don't realize what they need to spend time on. They might not even know yet what they really like doing and like learning about. So things like you're reading HR blogs like Upstart HR, it's just an example. You get some of the insights from someone that does it every day. You get some helpful, practical, hands-on tips for if this situation arises, I should do this, or here's how I should interact with my managers, or here's the kind of mindset I need to have when I'm recruiting someone, or whatever it might be. So understanding some of those things that come from the blogging world is really helpful, especially if it's written by a practitioner. And if you get it written by a consultant or an analyst, something like that, you'll get a different perspective. That's not necessarily a bad perspective to have, but it's necessary to remember where that's coming from. I think getting out there and reading books, I can't say enough about how important books have been to me. I do a lot of book reviews because I read a lot, and I think it's so powerful, especially for those people that feel like they're stale, or maybe there's nothing new, or I don't know, I feel like I should be innovative and strategic, but I don't know how to innovate. Take some time, read some books that you wouldn't have otherwise read. As you're putting those ideas into your head, you're going to say, hey, you know what? This thing that they did, that makes sense. Let's try that. Or more often, it's, you know what? I'm dealing with a similar problem. Let me take those principles, apply it to my unique situation, and try to figure out how I can merge a solution out of that and figure out how that works. That's one of the things that I do a lot. Is I'll run across something that I'm reading and I'm like, hey, you know what? Flag that, highlight it, put a post-it note, whatever, because I've got to come back to this later and figure out how I can use that as a problem I deal with regularly and I've never really had a good solution for it. Maybe I can use these principles and figure that out. So books are another really great way to increase your education and development. Attending events, paying for seminars, things like that, they're good. But I'm really a fan of self-directed education, going out there and learning the things you need to learn. Especially when you're getting started, you need to have a commitment to long-term, I am going to be studying these things, I'm going to be researching, I'm going to be learning for the long haul. Training yourself and being aware of what you don't know, then going out and filling in those gaps, that's a critical skill you need because there will always be something you don't know in HR. Especially in a generalist role, it's so complex with the different pieces. I cannot be an expert in healthcare law and in the latest and greatest on social recruiting and in these other 15 different things I might run into on a daily basis. There's just no way to be an expert in all those. But if I realize, hey, I'm desperately in need of some education on topic A, and I feel weak in that, and I need that to do what I'm doing currently, this project is going to fail without that, then I can certainly take some time to go and research that topic and learn more about it, whether that's books or blogs, finding research, finding a vendor that publishes white papers, finding whatever information that I can gather. And learning from that. Sometimes you do get those things in an actual college classroom, but a lot of times those are just kind of the foundation. Those are definitely a couple years behind the current trends, the current way things are going. So just realizing that if you start, even with a degree, you are committing to a long-term professional development, constant growth that is completely and totally on you to manage that process. It's not on someone else. If your manager helps you with that, that's awesome because a lot of managers won't, or they expect HR to do it or whatever. But if you manage that process, you are going to go a lot farther because you care more about your success and your future and your growth than anybody else would. So anyway, that's just a couple of thoughts about the importance of owning your own growth and your own education as you grow in your career. We'll talk more about some ways to do that in the article that I'm writing on how to get into HR, get your first job. Anyway, thanks for your time. Hope to talk to you soon.